guys. Happy Wednesday. Hope everyone is doing well this afternoon. So, before I get started on the recap of Bride of Charlie, the truth behind Charlie, the truth behind Erika Kirk, I just want to talk about this. Like, who is supporting the war in Iraq? Okay. I just want to be honest with you guys. I voted for Trump. Okay. And when I voted for Trump, I don't think not think, I didn't sign up for a war in Iran. I don't think anyone else did. Maybe some people are okay with it, but I'm not. Even President Trump, during his campaign last year, saying that there's not going to be any war. There's going to be anti-war, nothing like that. I just don't understand. And this is just me asking the question, okay? Why? Why are we going into war with Iraq? Why? Now they're going to say, well, they have weapons of mass destruction, that they are going to attack, regime change. I don't see any evidence of that, to be honest with you, of them attacking us, any weapons that they have. And to me, this is all propaganda of Bibi, okay? The Prime Minister, Bibi. And I just feel like, in my opinion, he's just talking into Trump's ear and telling him we should attack Iran. It have nothing to do with us as an American, okay? It doesn't. We should be focusing on us, the United States. We should not be focusing on Middle East war, okay? Especially what happened with the Israel and the Palestine. We shouldn't be, you know what I mean? Our tax-paying dollars going to the war, funding their war. It needs to stop. Why we're supporting them? That's Israel's problem. That's the Israel government. That have nothing to do with America. And it seemed like, they just couldn't help themselves, our government, to attack. Now, Trump's saying that he's not going to have any boots on the ground, but we don't know yet. That's to be determined. We don't know. But my thing is, if there was a threat, immediate threat, shouldn't it just have certain soldiers? Why have all? If you're trying to eliminate certain people from Iran, you shouldn't just not have all soldiers. You should have maybe 5, 10 to eliminate the threat that they're saying that they're having. And the reason why I'm saying this is just, I just don't understand how people don't get that Bibi is a war crime. That's all he wants. It's just war after war after war before he's no longer here on this earth. He just wants to get land, get people's land, get just attack people for no apparent reason, and then we have to be involved. You don't have to be involved. We shouldn't be involved, period. And I'm just angry and upset because I know a lot of voters did not vote for this. I know majority of them did. But I know the young generation, the young G's, the millennials, and I can't even, it's in the top of my tongue, the Gen Z, excuse me. You know what I mean? They don't want this. We don't want this. And the most important thing that one person did spoke about this was Charlie Kirk. He did not want this war, and he was adamant of talking to this about to President Trump. And just listen to his own words, how this war is just going to be, it's not going to be beneficial to us. And on top of that, it's not going to be beneficial to Donald Trump. Because if this doesn't work out, because, Donald Trump, he's a risk taker, okay? And he thinks that this is going to go well. But what if it doesn't go well? That's just, he's done. Come midterms in November, it's done for him. It's over as a wrap. His legacy and everything is just going to be kapoots. Okay, and he's taking a real big risk by doing this, by listening to Bibi, when he shouldn't have done it in the first place. Because again, what evidence do they have that Iran was a big threat to us? My gosh, China is more of a big threat to us. Russia, they have more weapons. What proof do they have that Iran have weapons of mass destruction that will hurt the United States government? That's what I would like to know. And again, I'm just asking the questions, you guys. I'm just asking the questions. I would think they would be more threatened to China, but they're not doing anything to China. They're not doing anything to Russia, even though Putin can't stand us. but it seemed like it's always coming back to Israel, right? Or is it just me? I don't know. It just seems like it is always going back to that. But listen to what Charlie Kirk had to say about the whole, um, what he was against starting a war in Iran. Take a listen.
The Ayatollah. Oh, really? What comes next? What comes after regime change? Might be, oh, well, we need a small number of U.S. troops to support the new regime. We have seen this play before. Regime change, you have no idea how this is going to work out. You have no idea. They are actively calling for regime change. This kind of analysis is not helpful. This kind of approach, this kind of argument, it has nothing to do with nuclear weapons at this point. This is now that we want to go all in and take out the regime. But what have we learned when it comes to wars, and especially wars in the Middle East? What you draw up on a whiteboard rarely happens. What you think theoretically is going to occur, there might be unintended and unforeseen consequences, especially when you're talking about a country 2.5 times the size of Texas. It has 90 million people and was an ancient and great power with well over a dozen ethnic groups. You have underground Christians. You don't really have many Jews left in Persia. But also you have secular younger Persians. Who's going to run the country exactly, Lindsey Graham? This sounds like Hillary Rodham Clinton in Libya. Yeah, the Ayatollah is awful. But maybe he's one of the few guys that can keep that country together and not have a 90 million person civil war. So you have these two extremes. I honestly don't think the neoconservative extreme needs to be represented philosophically anymore. It's uninteresting to me. They've done a mess of Iraq, Afghanistan, Libya, the entire Middle East, Ukraine. We know what the neoconservatives believe. I do think hearing out, and honestly, I agree with a lot of the more, I think isolationist is used as a pejorative, but let's just say restrained community. Take out the Ayatollah. Resist that temptation. That's not prudence. That's not self-control. That's something else talking. That's a zeal. And that very same zeal got us involved in a pile of garbage in Iraq. It all felt good with shock and awe in March of 2003. We're unstoppable. We're going to take Iraq in a weekend. Turns out, it didn't work that way. A lot of people died. A lot of Americans died unnecessarily. This is more Israel pushing for Iran. But is that America's problem?
No.
That's a question. I mean, maybe the answer is yes. Maybe the answer is, you know what? They were wrong about Iraq. They were wrong about Syria. They were wrong about Afghanistan. They were wrong about the Taliban. They were wrong about Libya. They were wrong about the Arab Spring. They were wrong about Yemen. They were wrong about the Arabian Peninsula. They were wrong about the 9/11.
At the end of the day, guys, it's not our problem. It is not our problem. Okay? We should be focusing on us. We should be focusing on the United States. We should not be focusing on wars in the Middle East. Okay? That is not our problem. Like, they want us to go into more debt that we already are. Like, I know a lot of people that say, well, the inflations are getting better, stuff. No, stuff is still expensive. Okay? Stuff is still high. Okay? If we go to war, even though it has not been confirmed we're going to war yet, but they did bomb on Saturday. Okay? If we go to war, it's just going to be catastrophe. Okay? And we don't need it. Okay? We need, Trump administration need to put America first. That shouldn't be our problem. But he has people talking in his ear, BB, saying that we have to go to war, we have to attack, because Iran is going to attack us or attack Israel. Again, that is not our problem. Okay? I'm sick of it. I'm sick of soldiers dying for no apparent reason. I'm sick of us, our taxpaying dollars are going and funding this war that I have nothing to do with it. I'm just sick of it. That's not who I didn't vote for that. I voted for, for our economy to be great, for the borders to be closed, for us to afford affordable housing, for healthcare, among other stuff too, low crime, not to fund a war that have nothing to do with Americans. Okay, nothing. And it's so crazy, because the reason why I'm bringing this up, which I had no intention to bring this up, is that I had a conversation with my husband the other night, Monday, and about Charlie Kirk. And I even said to my husband, I just can't believe that he's gone. It's just so surreal that he's gone and he's not here. And I was like telling him, I just don't understand why this had to happen, why this had to happen to him. And then my husband made me realize and made me think as well. Charlie was big, you guys, as everyone knows. Charlie was huge. He went out to so many campuses and debate with so many young people. Okay, he target young crowds, young people, and he had an impact in a lot of young people. And on top of that, his non-profit organization is a multi-million dollar organization, nonprofit. Okay, he influenced a lot of people. He even got young voters to vote for Trump, and that's how Trump won his presidency. Okay, if he was alive today, he could have been in 2028. He could have run for president of the United States, and I said that Monday, and I believe that he could have been president of the United States because he impacted a lot of people, and especially President Trump. You know what I mean? When Charlie Kirk said this back in June, that not to we shouldn't start this war. It's just really unnecessary. We shouldn't do this. And when my husband was explaining to me, Trump did listen, but then a lot of high powerful people were saying, why people are listening to him? He's young. Like, what does he know? And then my husband was explaining to me that Charlie Kirk had such a impact of people. You know what I mean? What he says and how educated that he was and how he could impact a lot of people. And a lot of these far right and far left were threatened by that. Were threatened how Charlie Kirk can impact and influence a lot of people and make people think. Because you have to think about this, you guys. Charlie gave people the floor. He gave people to debate and say what they want to say. And he debated back. You don't see that a lot. You really don't. He gave a lot of students and a lot of people opportunity to speak their mind and to have that argument. And then he had the debate back. Prove me wrong. And that's the thing that I liked about it. And that's about him. And that's why a lot of people resonated with him. Whether you disagree with him or not, whether you didn't like him or not, but he gave everyone a fair chance and opportunity to speak. Now, that's the reason that probably they took him out, because he just had, if he would have became president of the United States, he would have changed a lot of things. He would have changed a lot of things from the cabinet, from things that were going on for like decades. Things would have changed for young generation. But the people, the dirty folks who are corrupt and who've been in this politics for a very long time, they didn't want that. And this is what my husband was explaining to me, and I'm just paraphrasing here because I'm trying to remember everything that he said to me Monday, that they didn't want that because they were threatened by Charlie, how powerful he was with his words and how he connected with young people. And then he told me, why do you think that Bibi came up and once Charlie Kirk was assassinated, why he went on Fox News and said that Charlie Kirk loved Israel, that he didn't have anything to do with it, because he was trying to get the young people to be on his side, so he could convince them that he had nothing to do with the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I knew it was weird why he went up there and why he did that press on Fox News. But then when my husband was explaining it to me, I'm like, oh, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Because Bibi wants young voters. He wants the young people. You get what I'm saying? That's why he's working so hard to do all these things, these crazy things. And when my husband explained that to me, I'm like, that makes sense, because they knew that Charlie was a threat. They knew that if Charlie wanted this, if he wanted to get in office and become the next president of the United States, things would have changed. Things would not be how it used to be like over decades ago, because they knew that Charlie was not the one to be bribed, to be corrupted, because he turned down money from Bibi. He turned down a lot of things. You know what I mean? because Charlie was more of a upstanding man and a man of God with integrity, with loyalty, and doing the right thing. And people did not like that. They didn't like that. They wanted to keep things in office the way it was, how it had been running for decades. And they knew that Charlie Kirk was a threat, and that's why they eliminated him. And that's just my opinion about this. And then when my husband told me this and I was just processing everything, I'm like, oh, shoot, that makes a lot of sense. That makes a lot of sense. Why they did what they did. Why they had to get rid of him. Because I'm like saying they could have easily just, let him get into office and then kill him or try to assassinate him. My husband said, no, that was not the whole agenda. That was not the whole plan. Even Charlie said that he was going to die as a young age. He knew that. He prophesied that. He even mentioned it to Candace during the text messages exchange between the both of them. He knew that. And then when my husband was explaining all this to me, and I'm like, that makes sense because I'm still in disbelief that he's no longer here because I'm seeing past videos of him and stuff that he has done and things that he started his organization and he's not here because they knew that he was a threat. Anyway, I just wanted to share that with you guys. But let's get started on the recap of Bride of Charlie. I want to show you this clip of Tucker Carlson talking to this interviewer about Charlie Kirk and his assassination. And it's very important for you to listen to what he had to say. And then we go to, then I'm going to talk about it. So take a listen.
Truth of what happened to him. And will we ever?
Of course, I don't know the answer. I never weigh in on it because I love his widow, Erika, and I'm sad to see. I'm sad to see so much of what's happened ever since, and I love Charlie, and so it's emotional for me, and so, but I will just say the responsibility for investigating crime goes to the civil authorities, in this case, the federal and state authorities, and so the internet is not in charge of investigating crime.
Pause. And I agree. That's not our job to investigate of a crime, okay? And a lot of people are doing it, and kudos for the internet sleuths, the mommy sleuths, the YouTubers. I give them I give them a lot of credit, a lot of prop for doing that, even though they're not getting paid for it. They may be getting paid for YouTube for doing it, but you get what I'm saying. That's not our jobs to investigate, but apparently the FBI can't do their job, and they're lying to us, and they're lying to the whole narrative. And that's why we have this whole conspiracy theories now, because everything that they've been telling us from the get-go have not made sense at all. None. So that's why we're doing our investigation. And Tucker Carlson is right. That's not our job to do it, but who else is going to do it? Because apparently the FBI is not doing it. Even though they said they got the guy, but he didn't confess. He didn't confess. I can't even speak. The murder weapon, it was not in his hands. There's no footage of him taking that shot of Charlie. So what do they have? They don't have anything. To be honest with you, a text message exchange between his lover, that don't mean anything because that don't make any sense. Unless you have a confession of Tyler Robinson saying that he shot Charlie Kirk and give every description detail, they don't have anything. Nothing at all.
And when the authorities fail to investigate crimes, the internet will fill the vacuum. That's what you're watching now.
Yeah.
So there's all this hostility. Well, how dare you speculate? Well, we're speculating because
there are no answers.
And
exactly.
We don't have any reason to trust that we're going to get straight answers because there is such a long legacy of lying and deception from American law enforcement. Mm-hmm. You saw it on January 6th. You saw it at the Oklahoma City bombing. You saw it on 9/11. We still can't get the answers to what happened on 9/11 25 years later. Why is that? It's my country. I had a friend killed, like many people, on that day. I watched my country change forever, and they won't declassify the 9/11 files because why? Like, what is the answer there?
Who do you think they're protecting?
Come on now.
Exactly.
I don't know, but I would just say
He knows. He just don't want to
we
say it.
can't know until it's just all declassified, and people have to face.
Of course, they're protecting the high elites, the government, the people that's in power. That's who they're protecting. Declassified everything, but they're not going to do it. You know what I mean? And it's going to continue to happen until something change. And like Tucker Carlson said, nothing's going to change. We need to get to the bottom of the truth. What happened to Cheryl? Because we still don't even have answers, like you said, to 9/11, to JFK, MLK. What happened to President Trump attempted assassination? Nothing. Everything is just crickets. And we should believe our federal government, what they're telling us, when all they do all they do is lie. They lie. Our government owns us. They lie the entire time. They lie all the time. So I just don't understand how many lies that we are being told by our government. And we should accept it? No. That's why everyone's doing their own investigation. That's why everyone's going to the conspiracy theory. So it shouldn't be a shock to surprise to people. And when people ask the question, why are you doing this? Why are you investigating? Because we're not getting a straight answer. We're not getting a straight answer from our government, and they're not capable of doing that. And that's just the reality, you guys. That's just the reality.
The truth. And I think some of the things we think about 9/11 are true. I think some of the things we think about 9/11 are not true. But we won't know until everything is declassified. We can't declassify the Kennedy assassination files 63 years later. So what's the answer? And look, my only contribution is not deep knowledge. It's just a sense that
You're not getting the full picture.
I'm just not afraid at all. And I think it's totally within bounds as an American citizen to say, you're the criminal, not me. I'm not hiding the 9/11 files. If I had them in my house, I'd put them on the internet. I wouldn't even look at the ones, put them on the internet, because it's been 25 years. And 3,000 people died. So what's your excuse for hiding this? And so anyway, given all that, I'm under no obligation to assume the authorities will do a thorough or honest job investigating Charlie Kirk's murder or any other murder. I have a right to ask questions and to get very straightforward answers. And if you tell me I can't tell you, it's incumbent on you to explain why you can't.
Exactly. We all have a right to ask questions, especially if it doesn't make sense. We all have a right. And if you telling us that we can't ask the questions that doesn't make sense, then you're ridiculous. You're ridiculous, because things are not adding up and things doesn't make sense. And I think as a U.S. citizen, we all have a right to ask questions that don't absolutely makes no freaking sense. Anyway, guys, let's talk about the recap of Bride of Chucky. Man, oh man, I don't even know where to start. And I jot down some notes because, it's a lot to impact and a lot to cover, with the wrinkling time of, of Candace Owens' first episode and among other things. But what really caught me, the lost years of Erika Kirk, okay? That the missing years that she wasn't in school, but she probably was in school, and that she basically hid in her room and just studied the scriptures for that long period of time, and she didn't see anybody except for her mother, the pastor's wife, and stuff like that. That's hard to believe. But I just have to say this, okay? Even though lying is not a crime, it's not a crime to lie. However, I can't keep up with her stories. Like any interviews that she does, I can't listen to her anymore. I can't, because nothing that she says is consistent or the truth. Like even when I even listen to her on interviews, and she's going to have other appearances in the near future, I can't anymore, because like I said, she's not consistent, and all she's telling is lies, and we don't know what's true or what's not true. I don't think she even knows, okay? Like I said on Monday, I feel like she's being brainwashed. I feel like there's a chip in her brain, and they telling her what to say, what to do, like a freaking robot, okay? And she's just going with the flow. She's all over the place, okay? There's no, everything's just all over the place, and there's no consistency. So I'm just not going to take anything Erika Kirk says face value, because all she does is lie, and then her lies are being exposed. So I'm just going to go by the evidence that I see, what people have reported, because it seemed like they're more telling the truth and fact checking, and everything is factual what Erika has done, opposed to her telling these things coming out of her own mouth, because everything is just a lie and you can't tell which is true, which is not. For example, her birthday, is it November 20th or November 22nd of 1988? I don't even know. It's like, just thinking about this gives me a headache, because everything is just so inconsistent and just all over the place. It's like, I don't even know where to start. She called her grandparents Mofa, Fafa. What is this? It's just confusing. And maybe that's her point, to be confused of a lot of things. I don't know. But take a listen to Candace Owens, what she had to say about Erika Kirk.
16, and it changed my life. It absolutely changed my life. And that's when I started. So it was me and another friend, and I put together the Bible reading program, and I sent it to my friend. I said, do it with me. I was like, because I don't know what.
Well, this is confusing, because when she was on a podcast, and I wrote this down, let me just give me a minute. That should have been more. Okay, when she was on a podcast, she said that she locked herself in a room, okay, from she gone missing for 2008 to 2016, okay, 8 months, to read the Bible, to read the scripture. Now, on this interview that she did on the Stage Street interview show, she said that she met a friend. She did, is again the lie she told. One podcast, she said that she locked herself in a room like a hermit, that she didn't want to be with her friends. She didn't want to see anybody except for her mom and the pastor's wife, and she didn't go anywhere. She didn't do anything. Now, this interview, she's saying something completely different, which I'm going to show you the other video of her talking to a podcaster. Again, confusion. It's just, my brain just hurts because all the lies that she's saying, that she's telling. Hello, hi, how are you? Thank you so much for joining me live. It's just confusing. Take a listen.
What I'm doing, and you've been a Christian your whole life, and I just want to have an accountability partner. Like, please read this with me. 2016, finished the whole thing. It was a wild year. Wow. And after that, everything was in Technicolor, and I was like, I get it now. I get it.
That gives me
and it
chills.
made me, and it's really interesting, because then if ever I do go back to sit in a Catholic mass, I'm like, now I get the Catholic side even more now after having read the Bible. So I wish that there was more, because even when you go to confirmation class and like all the things, I just wish they would have, and some Catholic churches are great at this. Some Catholic high schools are great at this. Unfortunately, mine weren't as good from the standpoint of, get your own Bible and let's crack it open. It was never really like that.
I don't know. I don't know what's up. I don't know what's down. With Erika, it's just, you don't know what the story is. Like, you could say she didn't read it cover to cover in the first 8 months, but I would imagine she didn't need her friend and turn to a friend 8 years later and go, what am I doing? If she had 8 months to study the Bible with a pastor, I think a pastor would be better suited than a friend. I just don't know what is real with Erika. She gives me the vibe of someone whose brain has been rerouted, like the pathways in her.
You know, have anyone seen Jason Bourne? I don't know, it's just a movie, and then we talk about real life, but I just have to put it together. I mean, use this analogy to make it sense. It just feels like Jason Bourne. You know what I mean? Like, Jason Bourne lost all the memories of his life. I was working for, the government, and it just feels that way with Erika. It's like she don't remember what she's saying, and maybe she's just going with the flow. I don't know. It's just confusing. You guys, it's just really confusing. It just reminds me of the movie of Jason Bourne. Like, she has two different personalities, two different life. Like, whatever Erika was, it was not her. Like, something must have happened to her as a child from her adolescent, her toddler years, or as an adult. Something must happen. Nice action movie. I agree. I love Jason Bourne. I love it. I love Jason Bourne. Great movie. But that's what it feels like. It just feels like she's living two double worlds, two double life. And again, her mother, I have to agree with Candace, her mother is just in her ear. In her ear, just telling her what to say, what to do. And I know her mom is sick, Her mom is not doing well. But again, when it comes to investigation, you have to investigate everyone. So when people say, oh, how dare you investigate Erika? How dare you investigate? What's the problem here? We're not attacking her. We're not telling people to go to a place of her residence or do, you know what I mean? We investigate. And that's not a crime to investigate. People been doing shady things from a very long time ago. And when I say shady, Lord, what I'm about to read to you about her, Erika's mom, my God, that woman had different alias. She has different names, you guys, which I'm going to come to later. But my gosh, again, what qualifies this woman to be attacked? I would like to know, because I would love to be attacked and make some good money, because I know that her company she was a CEO of E3 Tech Group, a defense tech company with DHS/DOD contracts. And this is in LinkedIn, okay? This is in LinkedIn. But my thing is, what made her qualify to be attacked, to work at NASA? And she had different alias names, which I'm going to pull out to you pretty soon. It's just incredible. To me, when someone has different names, different alias, that's when you're doing some fraudulent shit, okay? You're doing some fraudulent things, okay? Because why would you have similar first name but different last name, and then another name, and then a different last name? To me, you're doing some fraudulent shit, okay? Fraudulent things, and no one haven't caught on to it. And by the way, it's public records, you guys. You can get this in the internet, which I'm going to show you. So just bear patient with me. Finish, Candace.
Brain have been rerouted from the time that she's a child. Like, she just had to lie so much that she doesn't even recognize that what she's doing is lying. Like, she just says something.
So you said, I heard that she had an orphanage and she got banned from Romania because children went missing. Yes, I heard that too. And there's an article about that, which I will talk about later this week. She had a charity called Romanian Angel, and there was like a big scandal that children went missing, being trafficking. They tried to debunk it and said that that's not true. There's no children being missing, when that is far from it. And I have to say, and there's another clip I'm going to show you, this all circled back to Epstein. Can you believe it? That man been dead. Okay, been dead for a long time, and this all goes back to Epstein. Can you believe it? Everything is Epstein. That's why I feel like this is all relatable to Epstein. Okay, because remember, he started this whole thing in 2009. Okay, so that's what I believe. This whole started in Epstein, but let's just be patient and let's Candace finish this.
It's like, this is what works in this room, exactly as Elizabeth Lane described it. This is what works in this room. This is who I have to be. Okay, I'm sitting with Sage and I'm trying to now explain what brought me back to the Catholic thing. Like, okay, maybe I need to be Catholic this week, or, maybe I need to be Protestant next week. So I said it at that podcast, and I did it because I didn't have an appreciation for Catholicism. But now I'm saying that studying the Bible made me have an appreciation for Catholicism, which I wasn't getting. It's so all over the place.
I have to say, it's exhausting. I have to give Erika credit. Damn, she's good at lying. She's good, because I can't even remember. I can't even lie like that. I'm going to be quite honest with you guys. I can't even lie like that. And just to remember the first lie I told someone, then remember, that takes skills. That takes skills. That takes preparation. That takes a lot of work. Okay? Like a damn actress. Okay? I give her that. To me, just the way that Candace explained it, it's giving me a headache. I'd be lost. But for her, she maintained it and she just keeps going. So whatever she told yesterday, something different today. Today she said something different tomorrow. She's just going with the flow. So whatever she told you yesterday doesn't really matter. It's not irrelevant, because she's probably going to say, I didn't say that. No, that's not what I meant. I meant what I said today. You get what I'm saying? Confusing.
I don't know what to make of it. I don't know, other than someone who was programmed and has had to tell so many different stories, that she can't really pedal backwards. She just kind of just keeps going and just keeps swimming and just keeps swimming. And what she's going to say tomorrow is not going to be what she said yesterday. It's too many lies. She is obviously not fit to be the CEO and chairman of Turning Point USA, just on the basis of the amount of dishonesty that we can just show you using her own words. Okay?
Like with Miss Arizona, I was so done with that world. It was very toxic. I loved my director. I loved the experience I had, but afterwards, it was one of those things where I was so sold out and focused on Christ that I didn't want anything from that past or that world to follow with me into the new season that I was about to enter into. And so for me, it was all about just, I literally had locked myself in my room and read my Bible. And the only person I saw for 6 months was my pastor's wife. And
You heard that, right? So when she was speaking at that other when she did that interview, she said her and her friend got together and did a Bible study. You get what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying? Inconsistency, the lies. I'm confused. So which is it? Did you lock yourself in a room in a hermit and read your Bible, or did a friend of yours, was teaching you the scriptures? Which is it? Again, lies. And again, it doesn't. We're not accusing her of, you can lie. Doesn't mean that lying is a crime. But what we're getting at here, and what Candace is getting at, is the consistency and why lie about that. And again, when someone lies like that, you're not fit to run an organization. You're not fit to be CEO, because why lie?
I just had her pour into me. We would meet for lunch or coffee, and I didn't see any of my friends. I didn't do anything. I just was so focused on that.
Okay. You hear it again. This time she locked herself in her room. She's just focused on the Bible. Self-taught. I mean, how much of the Bible could you read if that was the only thing that you were doing for, she says, 6 months there, 8 months on a different podcast, but it's Erika, so we're not going to hold her to anything consistent. 6 to 8 months. How much of the Bible could you read? And like I said, she presented to it like that was her aha moment. She finally got to have this experience with the Bible, because she learned it for real this time. Well, you might assume that she then became familiar with the Bible, but when it comes,
Of course, that's what she needed to do to get her hooked into Charlie. Of course, she had to learn the Bible inside and out to attract a guy like Charlie. Of course, she knew what she was doing. Again, she had her mother in her ears. Of course. But take a listen to another clip of Candace Owens about Erika Kirk, and then I'm going to discuss with you about it. Take a listen.
Was it after that? That's when you started pageants?
So this is the interview that I'm talking to you about. So
or when did that come about?
Right. So the pageant world to me is something that, it was an interesting season of life. It was nothing that I was ever groomed for. It was nothing that was ever on my radar.
Pause. Why she had to say groom? Why you had to say that? To me, that's just weird. That's just weird for her to say that automatically, that she wasn't groomed for. And again, I'm not in the pageant world. I don't know how that works. But when she said that they mailed her something, and someone told me who was in the pageant world, that's not true. They said that's not true. They don't mail you a ballot or something for you to sign up, for you to be a contestant. That's not true. Again, another lie. Damn. I wanted to play professional basketball.
Tomboy.
That was my thing ever since I was 5. Like, that was I wanted to play, and that was all I wanted to do. I was a gym rat, for lack of a better term. And I remember getting something in the mail when I had come home from school one summer, and it was like, hey, you should compete at Miss Arizona USA. Someone nominated you. And I was like, I don't know who would nominate me for that, but okay. So I shared it with my mom, and I was reviewing all the different things.
Can I share my theory with you guys? Okay. She loved basketball. That is true. And that was her sport. And she was a tomboy. Maybe her mother noticed that and said, you're beautiful, you're attractive. I'm going to sign you up in the pageant world. I'm going to say to get you in. You know what I mean? So you can be maybe some semi famous, semi recognizable, whatever, so people can notice you. You know what I mean? Even though if she would have went pro in the basketball world, she would have been, semi-famous, if that's what she wanted to do. If she wanted to go that route. However, I feel like her mother had a different plan for her. Okay, had a different plan for her to open the doors for other things. That's just what I believe. That's just my opinion and my theory about this.
You have to go through, and I thought to myself, if I were to ever win this, the most important thing out of it would be to be able to make a difference with the title. I don't care about the photo shoots. I just want to be able to overbook myself, being able to get involved with the local communities, with the local organizations that are actually making a difference. So the pageant world for me was something that was not a form of narcissism. It was more along the terms of being a steward for my state, especially as it hit our 100th year celebration.
Yeah, that's not right. It's not true. Erika has been involved in pageants from the very beginning. Her mother is definitely the person who pushed that. I actually do believe that Erika loves basketball. There's no question she plays basketball. Yeah. But this idea that she didn't want it is just not true. It's so objectively not true. Erika, without question, and anybody who's being objective and honest and looking at her history of the people that she dated and the people that she wanted to be in close proximity to, can guarantee to you that this girl wanted to be famous.
I did say that too on Monday. I did say that, and I did say that last week. The girl has a type, okay? She was not dating a 9-to-5 guy, okay? She wanted to date a man that has stats, that was irrelevant, that was semi-famous, and that's what she did. Again, she has a track record of that, and that is the truth.
Like, very badly wanted to be famous.
Exactly, one way or another. And sure enough, she did, because she met her Charlie. She met her Charlie, and that's how she got famous. So let's take a listen to the next clip of Candace Owens.
Everybody's find a turning point. These people love Charlie. These people didn't even write their own speeches for his memorial.
That I was not aware of, and that's pretty messed up. For someone that claims to love Charlie and say, Charlie is my best friend and I love him, you could not write a speech, your own speech, to tell the world how Charlie meant to you and how Charlie impacted your life. You had to have a ghostwriter or whoever to write you a speech. That's just crazy to me. I know if someone that was dear to my heart and was killed, murdered, whatever, I don't need someone to write a speech for me. I would just talk in my heart. You know what I mean? I would just tell people how I feel about that particular person. I don't need someone to write a speech for me. Shoot, why do you need to have someone to write a speech? You can go to ChatGPT to do it for you. But that's just weird to me. And I was not aware of that until Candace Owens said that. That's pretty messed up. Oh, thank you. What is that? Is that a flower or a rose? I don't know what that is. Can you tell me? I look like a rose and a blood. I don't know. Or maybe my eyes is deceiving me. Not sure. Please let me know on the chat what that is. I look like a rose. But anyway, like I was saying, yeah, that's just crazy to me that they had someone write a speech for Charlie Memorial. They didn't even know. That's crazy.
Take it to the bank. They didn't even write their own speeches for the memorial. They had people writing their speeches. That's how little these people cared about Charlie Kirk. Charlie was a means to them. Go ahead, call me a monster. Make a video. They're out here telling you it's okay. I'm gonna debunk what Candace is saying. Okay, Erika lied. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. Well, that's how some people grieve. They grieve by lying. They grieve by lying. You guys need to settle down. Why do you care so much if she's lying? Why do you care so much that she suddenly apparently had a clear enough mind to decide that she wanted to take the board to a vote to make her the CEO while her children are not at home? Why do you care so much? It's weird. You guys are the weird ones. How's that PSYOP going? It's failing. We literally do not care at all what everybody is saying on the internet that is clearly being paid to say the same thing. If you find the most demonic thing that happened in all of this to be me investigating it and investigating whether or not the people that are taking over Turning Point USA are actually going to be good stewards of the alleged billions going forward, if you find that to be the most demonic thing, you're out of order, my dude.
I agree. And I have to say, it's not like Candace Owens was never popular. You know what I mean? Like she didn't have viewers or followers. She had them more than ever. And now these dummies are saying that she's demonic. oh, she's the devil, and then people are paying them. I would like to know how much they were paid. $7,000 probably. And to me, if they were paid, these influencers, $7,000, I hope it was worth it. I hope that it was worth it for your soul. Okay, because no amount of money can pay me to badmouth anybody. I'm sorry. I'm about principle. I'm about truth, and I'm about justice. And I just don't follow people. I lead. I don't follow. And for people to do that, to me, you're pathetic and you're weak. And for you to just to take money, it's basically like a bribery. It's just utterly disgusting to me. What are you saying? Weren't her and Charlie friends? I don't think they were friends, to be honest. Candace Owens and Erika. I think they were very cordial to one another because I know that Erika was at Candace Owens' wedding because I saw a video of Erika was there at Candace Owens' wedding, and obviously Charlie Kirk was there. I don't think they were best friends. I think they were like, just hi, bye. You know what I mean? And obviously, Candace wanted to be respectful because of Charlie, because, they were friends. They were very close, like brothers and sisters. So, yeah, I don't, you know what I mean? And I bet you she had her suspicions of Erika. But, when you're young and in love, you don't think about these kind of stuff. You ignore the red flags. You know what I mean? And like I said on Monday, even a lot of people say, well, how can Charlie miss this? Because he was very smart and he was very intelligent. He was very wise. At the end of the day, you guys, he's a man. You know what I mean? He was young. Erika Kirk was older. Charlie was younger. And he found her very attractive, which she is. And he saw something in her. You know what I mean? Her, the things that she was saying, that she knew the Bible and politics and philosophy and stuff like that. That really attracted Charlie. You know what I mean? And he saw something. And when young men like that, they get blinded. We all have, haven't we? We all get blinded by love. We all seen the red flags and we ignore them because we want to fall in love. We want to see the good in people and we ignore them. And we're all guilty of that. That doesn't make you a bad person. That doesn't make Charlie a bad person. It's just that, we tend to ignore those red flags. And I know I'm guilty of it. I haven't been perfect, you know what I mean? Especially in my dating life before I got married. But the point is that's how it goes. You know what I mean? He was smitten by her. And yeah, but let's continue.
You're just out of order. You're out of order. When you used to see like you go to the machine and a soda can, it just has like a little piece of paper out of order. That's you right now. You're just out of whack. You know what? Lori reminds me, I gotta say this, I shouldn't say it, but I just get the vibe. I look at her and I just know, I don't
Definitely,
know.
I would do that tomorrow.
She gives me Grandpa Joe vibes.
Thank you.
Grandpa Joe? He was like a number one. He got away with it. Nobody even thinks about Grandpa Joe and Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. He was out there. He's, oh, hey, Charlie, oh, I'm sick. Hey, nice to see you busy. Charlie pulled out a golden ticket. Grandpa Joe did a whole dance routine. He said, oh, look, I'm good. Let's go. And then Grandpa Joe, look at the grandpa. That's Lori. That's Lori. And then Grandpa Joe, he gets down. He's the factory. Charlie's a good kid. He's a good kid. Charlie was a very good kid. Grandpa Joe gets down in the factory, tells him, steal the recipe. Steal the recipe. Give it to Slugworth. Vibes. I never misread them. Vibes.
I agree.
Anyway, some more Erika lies. We'll get into that next week. But I just now reflect on her telling me during our sit down that she received the questions ahead of time for her interview with Barry Weiss. Like she knew that Barry was going to ask a question about me. She said, they didn't rehearse her answers, but she knew what they were going to ask, obviously. And therefore, we can conclude that none of the questions caught her off guard. She definitely thought through recounting her time in New York City, whether or not she was dating. And I want you to pay special attention now, because it's even crazier in the retrospect, to her body language as she's about to tell us that she didn't date anybody for 5 years before she met Charlie. Take a listen to this.
I'm a 26-year-old Christian woman living in New York City. I would like to stay here long term, but I wonder whether it's sustainable. Do you believe there's a place for women like myself in modern cities who care about having a career, but also marrying a like-minded Christian conservative man?
Well, yeah. So it just depends on where you're looking. You know, if you're on the apps, I don't know if you're on the apps. I don't know if, I'm not going to ask you your personal journey. But what I will say is when I lived out here, I was here for 5 years. I never dated here because I saw vicariously through my roommate how terrible it was. Somehow getting drinks was the replacement of having coffee and breakfast. I personally would rather have coffee or brunch with someone than going. I don't drink. I find it unproductive, not because I'm holier than whatever. I just don't operate that way. But I always thought it was very strange how she would go to drinks with one guy and then go to dinner with another. So it goes twofold here. So if you're expecting to marry someone that I was blessed with, like a Charlie, you have to be the type of woman that will attract a Charlie. Are you going to church? Are you going to Bible study? Did you tell your pastor that you are ready for the Lord to bring into your life the man that you've been praying for? You yourself need to be prepared for that man, and only you will know how to do that. Does that mean staying out and going out with the girls? I'm not saying you sit on your couch and all of a sudden he's going to knock on your door and be like, honey, let's rendezvous. Like, that's not how it happens. It's not. Granted, my situation was a little different. I went to it.
You went to a job interview.
Literally. So this is how good the Lord is. He knew that because I was not dating in New York City.
See, I have to stop right there. No. You see how she did that? You see how she manipulated? Like, God knew. God knew. I don't know if you guys saw this on Monday, and I show you a clip of Charlie Kirk and Candace Owens in 2018. Okay, they went to Jerusalem. Okay, and Trump was doing a speech. Erika Kirk even said it multiple times in interviews. Who knows if she's telling the truth or not? That her and her mom went to Jerusalem for some pilgrim thing. Okay. Now Tyler Bowler told where Charlie Kirk would be. She was there. So for her to say, God put me there, God put Charlie, no. You knew. She knew where Charlie was, okay, because Tyler told her. And that's why she went with her mom to Jerusalem. And the funny thing is, she never, ever said it in her videos that Candace was there too. Isn't that crazy? Even though she's telling her story, but the thing is, they never even met yet. That's the thing. She said that she saw someone at the airport, looks familiar, when she knew who he was. And Candace Owens was there too. She never mentioned that. Never. She never mentioned in that first clip that I showed you on Monday with her and Charlie, when Charlie did his on his podcast. She never mentioned in that interview either. She never mentioned that at all. She left Candace out, which is weird. Saying so. She wanted to attract Charlie, so she groomed herself to be with him. Exactly. By her mother. Okay? Maybe that's why, again, the 8 months, 7 months that she was in her room as a hermit, maybe that was preparing herself, but I think that's a different timeline. Because, and I know Candace Owens is talking about it today, probably, which I'm going to listen to, that she was at Fort Huachuca at this intelligent agent place that they brainwash people, or they make people learn about the Bible, Christianity, and stuff like that. That's what I believe, and you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. I think she was training herself, grooming herself to have a to have a different version of herself. Because why lie, say that you never dated anyone before you met Charlie when you have dated? You went on reality shows. You signed up to audition to do an Amazing Race. You did drink, which is not a crime. You did do all those things in your 20s. Who hasn't? I think that she was trying to impress Charlie. I think that she was trying to be a different person and not who she was before. And again, it's not like she was a criminal that we don't know of. You know what I mean? It's not like she did something illegal. She did those things in her early 20s. You know what I mean? Before she met Charlie. And I'm just saying that people change. We've done some wild, crazy things in our 20s. Drinking, drugs, date, experiment. That's how life is. You do things, you experiment, you try new things until you meet that person. Then you settle down, get married, start having a family. What's wrong with that? And it's like, to me, it just looks like she was ashamed of her background, or she was being programmed to be someone to lead up to meeting Charlie. That's what I believe. That's just my theory. Because why do all these things? You know what I mean? Why be so secretive? Why lie? And again, it's not a crime, but it just looks suspicious and it just looks weird for her doing all that stuff. So that's a great question. Thank you.
He knew that in order for me to know that that was my man, he had to blanket Charlie as a job interview. Because if that went in, no joke, if he came to me and said, hey, let's go on a date to Bill's Burgers, I'd be like, I am so sorry.
Bullshit.
Thank you, but no, we're not doing this.
Bullshit. You know why I call bullshit? Because she already knew who Charlie was. By Tyler. Let me just think about this. You think she didn't Google him? You think her mother didn't Google who Charlie Kirk was? Come on now. This young, smart, intelligent man that started Turning Point, didn't go to college, started a non-profit organization that's making money. You think that her mother didn't Google Charlie Kirk? You think Erika Kirk didn't Google? Please. They did. They Googled who he was, okay? She knew who he was, but she had to play the part, okay? And a lot of people were saying that she was a honeypot. Okay, I had to look that up because I'd never even heard of that word, honeypot. Okay, never heard of it. And looking up that definition and actually reading, I'm like, holy crap. She could have been Charlie Kirk's honeypot. I'm like, my gosh, this is just crazy. This is something that you see out of the movies, even though this is real life, but this is shit that you see out of the movies, you guys. It's just crazy. All this twists and turns, all this lies and scandals, all this stuff. It's like a damn soap opera. Oh, honey bun, I tell you right, I can say honey bun. Oh my God. Honey pot. I tell you right now. Let me look it up. It is crazy. Give me 1 second. Okay, a honeypot or a honeypot is a trap designed to lure someone into composing situations. Commonly used in cyber security to catch hackers, using fake vulnerable systems, and it acts as a decoy to study attackers' behavior and protect real assets. But let me go further on. Hold on, because this is like cyber stuff. Hold on a second. A woman. Okay. So a honeypot or honey trap, referring to a woman, someone who used romance or sexual attraction as a lure to decoy or trap, often espionage, blackmail, or scams to gather information or influence. It describes as luring a woman a target. So basically, she had her target. She had her mark. What was her mark? Charlie Kirk. Because she knew that Charlie Kirk would be something more, something great, which he was. May his soul rest in peace. Okay? That's what it is. And that's what a lot of people are saying. It's just crazy. She knew, just like people saying that Erika Kirk was Charlie Kirk's handler. She knew exactly who he was before she even had that interview with Charlie Kirk in Manhattan at that burger joint. She knew who that's just my opinion. She knew already who this man was. Her and her mother. They knew. Okay? And in order to win Charlie, she had to become someone else. Okay? Someone else. So whatever she did in her past, that was not irrelevant. I bet her mom told her, don't even mention what you did. Don't mention none of that stuff. Mention what's happening now. That you are a faithful a faithful Christian, Catholic, that you went to church and then you went to school for politics and all that stuff. Whatever her mom told her. Whatever you have to say, sell it. And sure enough, she did. Because look what happened. After 2 years of dating, he popped the question, got engaged, got married in 2021, I believe. Don't quote me. I wrote it down. 2000 or 2001. Then had a baby. She got him. She did exactly what her mother told her. Okay? Now, fast forward. She's home, taking care of her babies, being the housewife. Because you didn't see Erika that much, except for that when she was doing her event at the Faith event. Just like I told you on Monday and last week. Charlie Kirk was doing all this stuff, going on different campuses and doing his podcast. Sometimes she pops in every now and then to do her podcast. Sometimes she even joins Charlie during his events and stuff like that. Type what? I don't know what that means. Type she. Please explain that. Thank you. And so then when Charlie was no longer here, he's out of the picture. Now she took the crown. She took the throne of CEO. Now she's everywhere, doing that book tour, doing interviews and stuff like that. She got exactly what she wanted. She did. But anyway.
That was my mindset. I was not in that headspace. I just wasn't.
Yeah. It's crazy in the retrospect. Who is the Lord? Is it the Lori? Is it the Lori? Or the Lord? Is it the Lori? I don't know. But I'm going to find out because there's some interesting things that happen in this timeline as we start to go forward. Ask yourself, what is the intended purpose of that lie? Not necessary. Who is the intended audience for that lie? Charlie. That is completely unnecessary. Nobody that I know would judge Erika if she was like, you know what? I was like Candace. I was down at One Oak. I was eating pizza at 3 a.m. in the morning at Artichoke. Okay. And then my life cleaned up after that. And I'm so grateful that I met a wonderful person like Charlie. I did the 20s hard in New York City. There's no expectation for her to pretend she never dated anybody. Like she just was, I was sitting at home observing my roommate and go, so terrible. No, please. No. The Lori knew. The Lori knew exactly what I needed, which was Charlie. And the Tyler knew that I would have to be sat down and told that it was a business opportunity, and what the Lori knew was probably everything about Charlie. Mm-hmm. Just like people say that Lori tells her what to say and who to target in every room.
Exactly.
I find that to be likely.
Spot on. I agree. I agree with Candace. Spot on. Like I said on Monday, spot on. Lori is the masterminder, and Tyler too. I never liked that guy. That guy looks creepy. But let me go to read this to you guys because this is super important. I pulled this up. You can definitely check this out on our internet. It's called Erika Kirk. Who is she really? Her mother, NSA leak, Swedish grandparents mix up, and the questions no one is asking. Okay, and this was published on October 27 of 2025. Now I'm going to pull this up and read to you of the different names. Okay, so on the bottom, let's see if I can make this bigger for you guys. Let's see if I can. Okay, I can make it bigger. There you go. So as you can see, this is Erika's mom, Lori Today, CEO of E3 Tech Group, a defense, and this is cut off, so I'm going to a defense tech company with DHS/DOD contract. Now, as you can see it says alias overload, public record reveals notary, and the names including, and this is Erika's mom, okay? As you can see, she had so many different alias names, okay? Lori Ann Francis, Lauren Francis, Lori A. Walsh, Lori Ann Goodney, Lori W. France, Lori Ann France, Lori A. And this keeps going on and on. Totaling at least 7 distinct alias with up to 11, which include spelling. Okay, spelling, excuse me, guys. Okay, spelling, verification, excuse me. Okay, why? Why have all these different names? Why different names? Why different alias? To me, that looked like fraudulent. That looked like she was trying to do something with different, different companies, different LLCs. Because why have all these different names? And then the IMET labs. Again, what makes her qualified to work at NASA? She was a model, she was a secretary, and then now she just turns into a tech, which the government gave her $2.4 million. Damn. Where's my 2.4? Because I would love that. I would love that. Then it continues on, this whole mix up with the grandparents, it's just confusing, which I'm going to share with you guys. Okay, the Swedish grandparents switch. Okay, Erika maternal grandparents was Carl Kenneth Franzi, World War II Star Knight by the King of Sweden, and he died in 2016. And then in 2016, she posted after her grandfather died, "My war hero, my angel, my morpha." Then, now this is so confusing, which Candace did explain this, but again, I'm trying to like wrap my mind around this. So I guess in the Swedish language, morfar is mother, father, far is father. So she called her grandfather Carl far, and I'm like, was this a typo? I don't understand this. But then she has her invisible grandparents, okay, which are Lori's parents, Joseph and Anthony, and then Angeline Marie, Lebanese and Italian. No photos. She never mentioned them in an interview. Just very weird. It is confusing to me. You know what I mean? Why say all these things? You know what I mean? Is it really her parents or not her parents? It's just confusing. You know what I mean? And I know, like, you know, when you have families or someone that's not your family, you call them uncle, you call them cuz. They're not really your cuz because they're so really close to you and they've been friend of the family for a very long time. That can be the case too. I don't know. Again, that's just very weird to me, you guys. But anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because it was just super important. Erika mom is a billionaire. She sure is. She's been a billionaire for a long time. It's just crazy. Yeah, I agree. A billionaire. Must be nice to be a billionaire tech, right? With no qualification of being a tech. But take a listen to this last video that I want to share with you guys. And it's super important to listen to this. It's a little bit long, so I do apologize. And the reason why I wanted to share this with you, because I want to talk about what Erika was trying to do in regards to the Tyler Robinson trial, or, well, it's not a trial yet because they haven't set a date yet, but she basically wanted to push the trial to make it, she wanted a speedy trial. Okay, she wanted a speedy trial, and because all the evidence is pointing out to Tyler Robinson, even though there's no evidence to the source that it's Tyler Robinson. You know, he may have some involvement in the assassination, but was he the shooter? No. Was it a 30-06? No. Was he on top of the roof? Not sure. Okay, because the video showing a man jumping down off of a roof like a Spider-Man, the visual is very unclear. You can't really see anything. And then the rifle, so basically he shot him, put the rifle together, then take it apart, then jump down the roof and then put it together, leave the screwdriver, and then leave it in the bush somewhere, but then they couldn't find it. And then next you know what, the FBI found it, even though they had the dogs. The dogs were there, and the dogs could not find the gun, and they're specialized in that. Speedy trial is the best thing takes them at least time to collect evidence. I agree, but the whole reason why she wants a speedy trial, because then it would be on record that Tyler Robinson did it, and that's it, the end of it. And then anybody that wants to discuss it more or feel like it's just the investigation is really off, we can't talk. We shouldn't be talking about, because case closed. They convicted Tyler Robinson. That's it. That's why she wants a speedy trial, not because she just wants to gather evidence. Let's just be clear here. There's no evidence. He never confessed. He still haven't confessed until this day, you guys. They said that he turned himself in. That's a bullshit lie. Okay? Where is the footage of him turning himself in? That's still missing. That's missing from the evidence box or whatever. We can't find that. That's just very suspicious to me. Okay? To me. So, and what proof that they have? They don't have anything. They are sticking it to him. They having him take the blame. And this video that I'm about to show you, it explains it very clearly why they're doing this. So take a listen. And it's very long, so forgive me, guys.
Just leaked, claiming that Tyler is being paid to be the scapegoat for Charlie Kirk's assassination, and allegedly, members of Erika's family had some type of relationship with Tyler's family. Meanwhile, Erika Kirk is now out here blatantly tainting the pool and demanding that the jury find Tyler Robinson guilty, and the trial hasn't even started yet. Erika was recently officially named as the victim's representative, which means she will speak in court on behalf of Charlie regarding his rights and interests as the victim. So why is Erika now going on another interview spree and claiming that Tyler Robinson 100% did it? Aren't we all innocent until proven guilty in a court of law? Unless you're Tyler Robinson, who Erika tells everyone is guilty every chance she gets. And get this, she also said she wants no other theories or narratives spreading on social media once the case is over. By the way, it's interesting how Erika looks so serious now, as opposed to that conference call just days after her husband was assassinated, when she was giggling and joking around while talking about merch sales.
And you guys can see on full display what happened to my husband, and there is no ifs, ands, or buts or confusion as to who did it and why.
People are already extremely suspicious of Erika. So now the question is, was Tyler Robinson set up, or was he in on it from the start? And is there any truth to these allegations that Erika and Tyler's...
Pause. So to answer your question, why, that is true. Charlie Kirk was well known. Obviously, he was well known. People knew who he was, and some people didn't. And when he was assassinated, he was everywhere. And the reason why they killed him, because I believe that he was starting a Doge in his company. Even Candace Owens mentioned $10 million was missing in Turning Point Action. I believe and I suspect that Charlie Kirk found out about the money was missing, and he wanted to start a Doge. Now, people are saying, the Turning Point organization, oh, he just wanted to do it because it was just an effort to do it, when that's a bunch of BS. No one doesn't start a Doge because they just want to do it or they feel like doing it. They start and audit it because money is missing, and they want to know why the money is missing. And I believe that, again, he was pro-Israel. He wanted to walk away from that because he was seeing what was going on with the war between Israel and the Palestinian people, and he didn't like what was happening. He didn't like that there was Israel was doing a genocide, an ethnic cleanse to get rid of the Palestinian people, killing innocent women and children. Now, I said it last year, and I'm going to say it again. I understand war, meaning that there's always going to be casualties in war, okay? However, what they were doing, the Israeli people were doing with the Palestinian people was not right at all, okay? They bombed houses, they bombed churches, hospitals, going under the tunnels, killing innocent women and children, raping them. Listen, they knew exactly what they were doing, and then they just wiped them out. And then later on, they're going to build a resort on top of the dead bodies. We have soldiers go over there, remove women and children so they can build a resort. It's disgusting. And then they're trying to tell me or tell you guys that's not a genocide. What they're doing is BS. It is BS. And I make it very clear, I have no problem with Jewish people. I have Jewish friends. I have a problem with Israel government inserting themselves to the United States, inserting their propaganda and their war to us when they have nothing to do with us. If you want to have war with the Middle East people, then you have your war. You have weapons. They have weapons. What they have to do with us? You're using our hard-earned money to fund your war, to fund your weapon, when we are trying to make it and we were struggling here. And we're trying to fund you guys. That makes no sense to me. Okay? He was getting equipped to that, among other things he did not like. and they wanted to shut him down. And like I said previously in my video, that they knew one day he would have been president of the United States, and they didn't want that because he had so much impact on young people. You have to understand he had a huge impact of voters, people voting for President Trump. Okay, and that's what Bibi was afraid of, because with young people, especially with the Gen Z and the millennials, they're the future here. You know what I mean? And that's what terrifies Bibi the most. They're the future. When we are no longer here, and it's our children and their children and their grandchildren, they're the future. And that's what Bibi was terrified, because Charlie Kirk was going to be the guy to change everything, to make things different. Meaning that it was not going to be like how Clinton was president, how Obama was president, how Bush, Sleepy Joe, Biden. You know what I mean? It was just going to be different, and for the generations, if Charlie Kirk would have been president of the United States. And Bibi did not want that. As long as he's still breathing, as long as he's still alive, he did not want that, period. That's why they had to get rid of him. And that's why they publicly, in my opinion, assassinated him like that, the way they did. To show us that we got the power. We are in control, these corrupt people. They wanted us to see that, because like I said, they could have easily poisoned him. They could have easily cut the brakes. They could have easily made it look like a suicide or whatever, even though he's not suicidal. They could have easily done it behind the scenes. But no, they did it publicly to show us, to tell us. You know what I mean? That's just my opinion about it. I could be wrong, but that's just my opinion.
Families knew each other, so these allegations first surfaced after some internet users discovered that Erika has family in Utah, where Tyler's family is from. Erika's aunt and uncle, Carla and Jack Solomon, now live in Salt Lake City, where Carla owns an investment company. Now, this next part hasn't been definitely proven, but there are allegations that Carla's company previously did business with Tyler Robinson's dad, Matt Robinson. And get this, Matt apparently owns the construction company that was tasked with paving over the crime scene at Utah Valley University, just days after Charlie was assassinated there. Grass and sod from the place where Charlie's tent stood were removed and replaced with bricks and concrete pavers, and the entire area was demolished and rebuilt. According to LinkedIn and multiple news reports, Tyler's father, Matt, owns Precision Granite and Marble LLC, and it's been alleged that this company was
So to answer your question, so DOGE is an audit referred to investigation. So basically, investigation and fraud, abuse in government. These audits laid by official CFO, scrutiny, local government contracts, employee compensation, and DEI effort to reduce taxes and improve. So basically, like tax fraud, basically. So if you're doing any tax fraud, that's what audit comes in, to make sure, you're doing your books the way you should be doing your books. You know what I mean? So that's what it is. Oh, you're from Utah? I'm from Florida. Awesome. I heard Utah is very beautiful, and one day I definitely want to go, because my best friend went to Utah and she told me it was so beautiful, especially during the winter. Like the snow is different, because I used to live in New York, Westchester, New York. And then she told me the winter is different, and they have the mountains and the hills. And she showed me pictures. It's absolutely gorgeous. I'm like, oh, one day I want to go to Utah. One day, hopefully. That's in one of my bucket lists. So yeah, so that's awesome. Okay, let's finish watching this. This is very fascinating, by the way.
Contracted to pave over the crime scene. UVU confirmed they allowed that part of the courtyard to be altered, citing safety and memorial preparations. But interestingly, they refused to reveal who the contractor was. But that's not all. According to one user on X who looked at Google Trends, over 100 people searched for Precision Granite and Marble LLC in Israel in November of 2021. And yet, there has never been a company under that name over there. So does this mean that both Tyler Robinson and Erika Kirk's families are deeply involved in what looks more and more like one massive psyop? Well, even if you don't believe that part, there's no denying that Erika's behavior and the comments she made about Tyler have been bizarre and inconsistent. Remember how Erika publicly forgave Tyler just 2 days after Charlie's assassination?
Father, forgive them, for they not know what they do. That man, that young man, I forgive him.
So, Erika dramatically forgave Tyler and said she trusts in the Lord to serve justice. But fast forward to now, and she decides to file a motion for a speedy trial, and she's running around doing interviews and publicly urging.
Pause. You heard that, right? And this is what I wanted to read to you really quick, because she wanted to have a speedy trial, because she wanted this to be over. You know what I mean? You know, for someone who you did that performance and on Charlie Kirk's memorial, I forgive you so quickly. I forgive you. And I didn't see it then. Now I see it now. Boy, what a performance. What a performance. Who forgives someone so quickly like that? After your husband just publicly was assassinated. You said that they have a nice scheme. That's awesome. I don't know how to ski, but I would try the first time. Hopefully I don't break my leg, God forbid. But they would still kill him over 10 million if it were. You said, why would they still kill him over 10 million? Our mom is a billionaire. The thing is, it's about more than the money. Obviously, there's money's involved. That's why the FBI or an investor, they're not following the paper trail. They're not following the money. It's about power. It's about eliminating Charlie because, again, like I said, he was walking away from the Israel. He was walking away from donors. He was not, they would even offer him money. He turned it down. And a lot of people were upset about Charlie turning down the money because Andrew Corvette was upset about that because he was supposed to get some type of percentage or some type of deal if Charlie made that deal. But Charlie did not want to be compromised. And he told BB no. Okay? When it comes to money, especially that organization, whoever was involved in this, money makes you do crazy things. Okay? Make you do crazy things. And I believe it was money that was missing, the 10 million, among other things, what Charlie probably discovered or find out, because he even said they are going to kill me. He didn't mention who they was, but he said they. And he knew he was going to die at a young age. He prophesied that. He said it many times in text messages exchanged with Candace Owens, that he was going to die as a young age, that Candace Owens was going to be his David, and Charlie was the Goliath. Okay? It's just crazy. And I don't know why they're not investigating that. They all know what's happening here. Okay? If you follow the money trail, then you will know who was behind the assassination of Charlie Kirk, who wanted him dead. If you follow the money, follow the evidence, follow the lies, the inconsistency, you will have it. But they're not doing that because they're telling us they got the shooter already. They got the guy. Now, this I want to read to you because Erika's trying to push a speedy trial. Okay, it says that comes now. Erika Kirk by God undersigned a counselor hereby acts as her rights under Utah Code 77/38/2 as a victim representative to a speedy trial. She wants to be done with this. She wants to be done. She wants a verdict to come in so that Tyler Robinson is guilty, case closed, and then no one should talk about it anymore because we got our guy. She wants this to be done. But unfortunately for Erika, it doesn't work that way. Even though she wants a speedy trial, it's up to Tyler Robinson as a defense to want the speedy trial. But then when the judge came back and he said, ensuring the defense has a fair trial, but this court must also do so while balancing Mrs. Kirk's right to a speedy trial, and therefore this notice invokes Mrs. Kirk's right under applicably Utah Code. So basically, in layman's terms, we're not having a speedy trial. So even though she wants one, she can't get it. It's up to Tyler. Let's say, for example, if Tyler said, you know what, I confess. I did it. I don't want to go to trial. I'm just going to confess and write it down. That's it. He can do that. That's his right. That's his right. And we have to respect his rights because he has a right as an American, but he has not confessed. So if he hasn't confessed and there's no proof and there's no smoking gun, why will I have a speedy trial? He has to have his day in court because that is his right. So even though she requested this, and you can pull this up online, you guys, even though she requested a speedy trial, the judge said no. No, it's up to Tyler. I'm very surprised they haven't forced him to do it or threaten him. But like I said a couple months ago, they may not even go to trial. That's just my opinion. They may try to threaten him or give him money or do something. I'd be very, very, very surprised if he does go to trial. But I just have this feeling that it's not going to go to trial because something's going to happen. Two options. They're going to kill him, he's going to commit suicide, or he's going to take a plea deal. Those are the three options that I have. But we're going to wait and see because they have not set a date yet of the trial to start. But we're going to see. Let's continue on. Where was I? There we go.
The jury to find Tyler guilty. And here's another interesting coincidence. The lawyer Erika chose to file the speedy motion request on her behalf is Jeffrey Neiman, the same lawyer who defended Alex Acosta when he gave Jeffrey Epstein that.
You see, same lawyer. That's what I'm saying. It's all connected with Jeffrey Epstein. Everywhere I go, every head I turn is Jeffrey Epstein. With Nancy Savannah Guthrie, Jeffrey Epstein. With this, Jeffrey Epstein. His name is coming up all the time, and this man is dead. Dead. Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein, Jeffrey Epstein. It's all connected. I'm telling you, with the whole missing of Nancy Guthrie and this, it's all connected somehow. It is. I will never forgive him. I agree. That's what I'm saying. I will, as a Christian, obviously, with time and healing, yes, I have to forgive someone who have hurt my family, but not right away. I'm sorry. I just can't do it. Some people can, but I can't forgive someone that quickly. I said it many times. I just could not. No. If you come after my family and you murder them, my children, I'm not forgiving you right away. I need time. I need time to process. I need time to heal. No way. Not right away. Eventually, yes, because it's God says that you do have to forgive your enemies. Not for them, but for you, so you can have peace of mind. However, I'm not doing that right away. Tyler, why would he kill him? And why would he kill him? And what was the point of him going to spend the rest of his life? That's a great question. I don't think that he killed Charlie Kirk because there was an eyewitness stated that there was a man on a roof wearing a whole black technical gear, mask, gloves, everything. Okay, and he took the shot. So I think Tyler had something to do with it. Maybe he was a decoy. I believe Tyler Robinson was a decoy, but did he pull the trigger? No. And maybe he was supposed to be the fall guy. Again, that's a great question. Why would he? Again, maybe the FBI threatened his family because we still haven't heard about his boyfriend, Lance. Where is he? I keep mentioning, where is he? Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he in witness protection? Well, who knows? His name have not been mentioned, not even once. Even Lance's family thinks that he probably has something to do with this, but no one's not questioning him. So that's I would like to know. If anyone can tell me where Lance is, let me know. Is he alive? Is he dead? Is he in witness protection? I don't know. Because no one has not mentioned his name since Tyler Robinson has been arrested. Since he's been arrested, no one hasn't mentioned. We don't know where he is. You know, it's just very strange. This whole thing is strange. It's just a whole big cover-up, and it's all military psyop operation just to get rid of Charlie Kirk. This is all a military thing. It is. There's no way this man, Tyler Robinson, you trying to tell the people and try to tell me it was one guy that take that shot. That's it. Just him. No one else involved. That's what they want us to believe, that it was just only him. That's the most stupidest, absurd thing I ever heard in my life. That's like me, God forbid, I'm going to rob a major bank, okay? And it's just me. And I don't have anyone else doing it. It's just me robbing a bank. That makes no sense. When you're going to do something criminal, especially something big like a heist, if you're going to rob something big, you're going to need multiple people. Okay, you need to get a getaway car, you need a backup car, you need someone else to surveillance everything. You're going to need multiple people. Okay, you can't just have one people to do one job. That makes no freaking sense unless you're going to rob something small. But if it's something big, you're going to need at least a team, a trusted team that you can trust that won't betray you or won't turn on you. Because when it comes to money, people are greedy. Okay, they will turn on you and kill on you. So for them to say it's just one person who did this is BS. It's absurd. It's just ridiculous. Okay. I believe there were multiple people who were involved. There were multiple people on the ground, and they had to stand in place, and they had to be at a certain area. They were all wearing maroon shirts. Come on, color-coded military style. It's just ridiculous how they're trying to paint this narrative for us, and thinking that we're stupid, we're dumb, because we don't work in the FBI agent, because we're not lawyers. We have common sense, and we could put two together and realize, this is not adding up. This looks very suspicious. I don't know. They're just really dumb. They think that we're dumb, basically. They think that we're dumb, but we're not. We're not. Like I keep saying, this is not 1963, okay? This is 2006, okay? We have modern technology. We have things in our disposal. It's not like you can hide and get rid of things. I'm sorry. Nice try. Nice try, feds. Nice try.
Infamous plea deal in 2008. That deal allowed Epstein to plead guilty to 2 lesser charges instead of facing federal trafficking charges that could have resulted in a life sentence. But going back to Erika, why is she so desperate for this trial to be over quickly? Didn't she already forgive Tyler and said she would let the Lord deal with him?
But we serve a just God, and I rest easy in knowing that. He's sovereign, but he's just. And so let the Lord handle that.
So if the Lord is supposed to handle it, why is Erika now filing motions to speed up the trial and tainting the jury pool by publicly claiming Tyler is definitely guilty? Well, if you scroll online, most people are saying Erika's freaking out because all that gaslighting and manipulation from her and TPUSA didn't stick. People are still digging into Charlie Kirk's assassination, exposing all the lies and inconsistencies, and who knows what else might come out until the trial starts in May. And now it seems like Erika is panicking and doing everything she can to take the heat off of Turning Point. She recently went on Fox News, again, to talk about the upcoming trial. But most of the time she talked about Turning Point and how important it is to continue what she claims was Charlie's mission.
It's really powerful because Charlie knew that you don't just talk about the youth, you talk to the youth. And he has put us in a position where this is such an authentic and true movement. I mean, case in point, you have high schoolers, some of them that are walking out for those Ice Out walks. Our students, instead of walking out, they're holding hands in a circle around the American flag praying. There is a huge juxtaposition between what we are providing for our students rather than the other side. And so it's really powerful. And Charlie, before he told the team, Andrew Cipher was in that meeting, our chief field officer, he said, I want a high school chapter on 35,000 high school campuses. And Andrew's like, it's so, so important. And I'm just honored and blessed that Charlie entrusted not just to me, but our whole entire Turning Point USA team to carry this mission forward.
And just to show you how scripted these interviews are, Erika was asked to explain authenticity, which means they know exactly what people are saying about her online. But here's the funny part. She goes all serious, talking about how authenticity is just something you feel. It's like she's trying to make us forget that Zoom call where she was laughing about merch sales just days after her husband was assassinated.
How is it that you go into young people and you convey to them the authenticity of what is happening in this country? What do you say to them?
You can't explain authenticity. You either feel it or you don't. Charlie was very good about that. He never had to over-explain who he was. He was phenomenal on his daily show. He was just an amazing man. Everyone knew that. Everyone could see it. And thank gosh we have all of his videos that we can see for years to come. But
The young students see authenticity and they can immediately sniff it out. They can also see if there's desperation in the room.
Well, that's one thing Erika didn't lie about. We can definitely sniff out desperation. Now, as for the upcoming trial and the case against Tyler Robinson, Erika again talked about how she knows for a fact Tyler is guilty, and she just wants this to be over so people can stop speculating and pointing fingers at someone else.
Absolutely. I want there to be no hesitation in understanding of what happened to my husband that day. I want there to always be full transparency, because what I don't want to have happen is for there not to be, and then I am relying then on social media and other news outlets to explain the narrative rather than saying, hey, this is what happened, this is what here's all of the, it's just as hard, all of the facts on the table for you guys to see, and you guys can see on full display what happened to my husband, and there is no ifs, ands, or buts or confusion as.
You saw that, right? You saw that she paused a little bit, like, excuse me, like she had to think. It's like, again, like a switch. Like she had to think before she said anything. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable. She don't want to rely on social media or the media. Who are we going to rely on? What the government is telling us is lies. It doesn't make any sense what they're telling us. It's all a bunch of BS. So yes, we have to follow the evidence, and we have to do our investigation, because what they're telling us doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. But I just wanted to share that with you guys of this clip of this video. You mentioned they set him up. The real killer is probably out. Yeah, the real killer is out there, long gone. The killer's probably in Israel, Tel Aviv, somewhere far, far away. And to be honest with you guys, we will never know. You will never know who really, really pulled that trigger that day on 9/10. You will never know. And that's just my opinion about that. Will a lot of people be exposed of people who had common knowledge of what happened to Charlie Kirk? Yes, I absolutely believe that. Names will be exposed. People will be exposed. A lot of things will be exposed. Yes. Will the real shooter be arrested? Probably not. I don't think so. Because if they're not releasing the whole files of the Epsteins and not arresting these elite men who are pedophiles and predators and doing pedophilia things, what makes you think they're going to arrest the shooter of Charlie Kirk? They're not going to do that. Of course not. They have to protect their own. They're not going to protect the innocents. They're not going to do that. They're going to let these perverts, these pedophiles, to run free. They rule our government. Have anyone realized that already? They rule our government, just like Bibi. He ruled us all. They're not going to arrest these high men. They're not. They get a free pass, okay? They're not above the law, obviously. They're not, you know what I mean? They can do whatever they want. Doesn't matter. As long as you have money, power, connections, you can have sex with underage girls as long as you like. And you know what the real disgusting thing is, you guys? They're letting these real perverts out there also too, who are not famous, who don't have any money, saying that, well, if these famous men, elite men, politician men can have sex with underage girls and they can get away with it without any arrest, without any investigation, well, damn it, I can do the same thing too. I can go to the dark web, look at kiddie porn, children or whatever, which is absolutely disgusting to me, filth. And I can do the same thing because they're not holding these people accountable. They're not arresting them. So, hey, I can do the same thing too. You see the example that they're setting is absolutely disgusting. Last thing, how was Trump's relationship with Charlie? When he was alive, very good. Obviously, very, very good because Charlie Kirk got him into presidency. He got him to the White House. So the relationship was really good. What really saddens me about this is this man worked very hard, Charlie, to put you into the White House, and you're not even doing anything to investigate, to find out what really happened. He's not doing that, President Trump. He's like, oh, well, we're just going to make a sign, go, give him a plaque, dedicate something, for his work, his legacy, and that's it. And to me, if I had a really true friendship with someone and who actually worked his tail off to get me to the White House, I think I would do everything in my damn best to find out what really happened to you. But he's not doing that. Again, people are talking to President Trump's ears too. You know what I mean? That's why I'm like saying, like, he has other people talking to his ears. People tell him stuff. And, you know, maybe President Trump is not aware of this. You know, there's a lot of bad apples in D.C. There's a lot of bad apples in the White House. A lot of corruption. Maybe he don't know. Maybe they're keeping that away from, away from President Trump. Who knows? Or maybe President Trump knows and he just threatened by it. Meaning that people are going to hurt him, his family, just like with the Epstein. He's protecting these pedophiles. He's protecting his friends because he knows who they are. Same thing, I believe. Anyway, you guys, I know that I am so over time and I have to head to Bible study. And I just want to say thank you so much for joining in. You said, how did you vote for who do you think will be president after Trump? You know, to be honest with you, I'm not sure. I'm definitely not voting anymore. After seeing this term and what's been going on with the Epstein and Charlie Kirk, I'm definitely independent. I voted as a Republican, and I changed that. I'm definitely independent now, and I'm just not going to vote because who's going to be the next candidate for 2028? J.D. Vance. Ruben, I can't remember his name. Ruben Marocchio. Hopefully I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. And the third option would have been Charlie Kirk if he was still here. You know what I mean? I'm definitely not voting because I'm just utterly disgusted by Trump's administration, and I'm very disappointed. I don't have any regrets, to be honest with you, that I voted for Trump because it was him or Kamala. So I Trump or Kamala, who you voted for? I voted for Trump. I did, because that was the two options. What's your opinion of leftist? You know, I don't really have an opinion about that, to be honest with you. Muslim sucks. Why would you say Muslim sucks? Not all of them sucks, to be honest with you. There are some good Muslims out there, and there's some bad ones. Just like there's some good, a lot of people out there, and there's some bad ones. You know, you just have to pick the bad apples. You know, yeah. So I'm definitely not voting anymore. I told my husband that, and it's just the way that things are going and things that's happening is like it's never going to be the same. I'm not saying it's never going to change, because every time when you have a runner-up that's going to be president, they sell us this dream that they're going to do X, Y, and Z. They're going to do all this stuff, and they do some of it, but they don't fully do it. You know what I mean? And I'm the type of person, if you're going to tell someone that you're going to do something, keep your word, because your word is everything. You can't do something half-assed. You know what I mean? If you're going to say you're going to do something, do it. Keep it. Unless something happens that you can't follow through. Now, I just feel like President Trump, he followed through on certain things, but he didn't follow through on all of them. Like, if he had no intention of releasing the Epstein files, then he shouldn't campaign it at all. You didn't see Bush do it. You didn't see Joe Biden do it because they knew who was on it. Both parties was in the files. They didn't promote it. But Trump team promoted that. So when you promote something to the American people, and now that you're in office, you have to follow through. You can't just say, oh, you know, it's a hoax. It's a Democrat hoax. Epstein is dead. He's been dead for years. But you're the one who said it, not everyone else. You're the one that said it. You're the one that promoted it. So you have to keep your word. So for him, for not keeping his word, is just utterly disappointing to me. And not finding out about Charlie is disappointing. About the war is disappointing. By listening to BB, it's just unnecessary. In my opinion. Islam is toxic religion. Have you seen what they did to Europe? No, I have not, and I would definitely look into that, what they've been doing to Europe. I would definitely look into that. And, you know, sometimes, you know, we have to be careful what we watch too, because, you know, they can just tell us whatever we want to hear or see, and some of it is really propaganda. And we just have to really do our research, because half the time what they're telling us is not really half the truth. It's not. And I try to, you know, do my own research and fact check everything, you know, because again, half the things that they're telling the world is not really true. And I just wish that they really have like real news. And and before I let you go, you guys, I really had a debate with my dad over the phone, because I said that it's fake news. He thinks CNN, the other news outlet, they tell the truth. And I'm like, even Fox News don't really tell everything. They really don't. You know what I mean? And I listen to Fox News, but they don't tell us everything. And he said, well, what about Trump? I'm like, what about Trump? I'm not talking about Trump. I'm just saying the news outlet, what they tell us, they don't tell us everything. This is why we have YouTubers. This is why we have people that really go out there and do their research and tell us what's really going on and really tell us the truth. You have Candace Owens, you have Tucker Carlson, you have so many people that's really out there that's really telling us the truth, opposed to the media outlet that's not really telling us everything, that they tell us half of what they want us to share with us. Anyway, guys, I am really, really over time, and I really had to jump into Bible study tonight. I really appreciate each and one of you, of your comments and you jumping in and listening to me. I really, really appreciate it, and I love you all. And I will be back here tomorrow live, so join me. And again, thank you so much for your comments and you listening and jumping in and giving me your feedback. I really appreciate each and one of you. Stay safe. God bless. And I will see you guys on the next live.